Hey guys, welcome to the YouTube channel. Today I want to make a video about how physical media has lost its aura and why collectors like myself are kind of giving up on it in a way. Now I did get this idea for this video from Phil with a double L. He did a video the other day where he interviewed a bunch of YouTubers. I will try to find the video and put it in the description, so if that's something you're interested in, that will be in the description. And it was a pretty good take. Like, all these different collectors were talking about, like, yeah, flooding the market is one reason. Re-releases are another. Subpar releases is also coming into play. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk from my own perspective. So obviously people know I'm downsizing. People know that I'm going the box route. I'm going fold down, Same thing Serial at Midnight did. I'm going that route. And the number one component of that is space. Now, 20 odd years ago, space was a lot cheaper, You could get a pretty decent sized apartment for relatively cheap. These days, most people live in studio apartments in Sydney, especially. Like, I don't, I have a 2-bedroom, so I have a spare bedroom. But you know what I'm saying? Like, space is a commodity. So my fall down route is an answer to a problem. Now, obviously, I have the space right now, but over the next year or two, I'll probably end up moving somewhere else. This is a reality. This is just how I am viewing my life, where I'm going, where I want to move to, where I want to be. So you start looking at the space a collection like this takes up. Space is a big component for me, and that is one of the big reasons why I'm like, this just can't be sustainable. So that is one part for me as a physical media collector, why I've kind of given up on buying. Now, there are still the odd releases I will go out and buy. I do want to buy the Thunderbolts. I want to buy Thunderbolts when that comes out on physical media. It's something I'll have to import, but I want to keep the Marvel collection going. There's odd ones here. I might buy an Australian release if an Australian release gets a run in 4K. There's also this thing of endless upgrading. And as we've seen with stuff, and I know I do it every video, I bring it up every video, but I have to keep mentioning it. You see with some studios where they will do a release, like Terminator 2. It's not necessarily the version we wanted. Cameron did a lot of digital noise reduction, changed a lot of colors, took a lot of liberties with this transfer. Now, it wasn't James Cameron at the computer clicking the things himself. He gave it out to a studio, signed off on it, and was happy. Now, if you had grown up with those colors the way it was, the orange sunsets, or even like without Arnold Schwarzenegger looking like a wax figure, then you're going to be a bit annoyed by that release. And now that we're at 4K, we are kind of seeing the 4K lose its aura in a way because it's no longer the new format. It is the newest format, it is the high-end format, but 4K has been on the market since what, 2014 or 2015? So 4K is not a new technology. It's been around for 10 years now. We can no longer call it the new format. It is not the new format. So it loses its shine, and with so many people coming into collecting now, you're seeing this backlash against the physical media stuff of companies need to make money. Let's just say that up front. Companies need to make money. But what we're seeing is it's kind of like the Taylor Swift approach. Like, when Taylor releases an album, she'll release 4 different versions of that album, different artwork, different little arrangements. That sells, everyone wants to collect all 4. But what happens when you get a outsourced thing like Kino Lorber, Mad Max, but you also have Warner Brothers saying, we can do a release as well? It begs the question, which one do I buy? And look, while hardcore collectors like myself might say, yeah, I'll buy both and just have the option of both. Some people might say, you know what, I'll do my research and pick the one that best aligns with me. The average consumer is just going to say, you know what, what's wrong with my DVD version? What's wrong with the Blu-ray version? Why am I paying to upgrade this when I have a decent enough version there? And people who say that Blu-ray doesn't pull its power anymore, Blu-ray, a lot of people don't care about 4K. They don't understand the technology. They don't understand HDR. They don't understand. At the end of the day, streaming is where it is. Streaming is the newest, it's the new format. It's like not the physical media format, but it's the new format. People, yes, it has been around for a while, but people are going towards streaming. So let's just call it what it is. 4K is not something that people are necessarily running out saying, I got to pay $40, $50, $60, $70, $80 for a 4K that I want. Now, hardcore collectors like myself will say, yes, I can part with a release if I want it. If I want to have, what's something here? If I want to have Picnic at Hanging Rock, you're damn right I'm going to have that on my shelf, I'm referencing the Australian movies today because I did an Instagram post about what's your favourite Australian movie. Go and look at the Instagram post if you want to see that. That's the latest one at the time of this posting. So go and look at my Instagram is what I'm saying. But yeah, with Australian movies, if I see an Australian movie on 4K, I'm going to try to pick that up. That being said, I have pulled back from buying overall because it's just too much. I mean, Star Wars. If I was going to buy another version of Star Wars, I would be buying or waiting for 50th anniversary and hoping to all things in their head that they will put out the theatrical versions, the unaltered, the ones we've been asking for forever, the ones that keep getting the piracy online, the specialized ones, put them out on physical media, have Disney officially have it, and then I might buy it. But there's a lot of casual collectors at the moment who buy everything, and look, I was one of them. I was one of those people. And I get, after a certain point, you just have everything. That's another thing. Like, between my Blu-ray, my DVD, my VHS even, I've got everything I can imagine. I've got just about every single release I can possibly imagine. And it just gets to that point where, okay, they do a new release of, I don't know, what's something that came out the other week? I don't know. There's probably something that's come out recently. Elm Street. Everyone's talking about the Elm Street 4Ks. Now, yes, I'll take a look at that when it comes out. I've got Elm Street over here on 4K. I've got that right here. I can see it. I've got Elm Street on 4K. I've got it. They're doing the box set of all the other Elm Streets. But there comes a part of me where it's like, I really only care about part one, and I've got that. And the rest I can watch on Blu-ray if I want to watch it. It's not something I'm watching commonly. This is one I watch commonly. So this is going to be one that I have on 4K, Comes a question of how much are you watching these things, and also space it takes up, and also sometimes you just have enough. Sometimes you just have everything you need. You don't need any more. And look, I'm not knocking physical media. I am a big fan of physical media still. But when we feel like we're becoming just cash cows for these companies, where they will just pull out a release, phone it in completely, and then expect to charge $80 for one release. Outside of the Kinos and the Arrows and stuff like that, I'm talking about big studios like the Disneys, where they can put Guardians of the Galaxy? Let's go Loki. They can put Loki on physical media and charge a premium for this just because it's a steelbook. Yes, it's a big disc. It's got all the episodes on it, but did this really need to cost what it did? I paid like, over $100 for this. I like it though. It's part of the Marvel collection. I do like it. I do like the artwork. That is one of the prized crown jewels of my collection. That being said, if it wasn't a steelbook, I probably just would have bought the standard 4K, honestly. Companies know they can charge a premium for these things, and they know they can keep drawing from the well. Now, yes, there is a resurgence in physical media. We have to admit there is a resurgence in physical media. There are people coming back to CDs. There are people coming back to DVDs. There are people coming back and discovering the format. There are people going back to gaming. There are people going back to different formats. But what is happening is we are seeing a trend. And we are seeing a trend of the collectors like myself, like Serial at Midnight, like Phil with a double L, I'm sure, and, there are all these other collectors on YouTube. Definitely Films at Home, Films at Home's been the one I referenced the most on this channel because he was the one leading the space when I was watching and starting my channel. So there are all these collectors who are like, yeah, either downsizing or constantly reshuffling or saying, yeah, I want it more aligned with what I'm actually going to watch. So I'm going to start selling some. I'm going to start downsizing some. I'm going the sleeve route because I want to retain all that. So, I'm never going to know if I'm going to need to go back and watch, what have I got here? Let's pull one random one. Survivor Series 1990 something. The first Survivor Series, I might need to watch that. It's in a sleeve. Retain it. It's in the papers. So, I've got everything I need. I never know when I'm going to have that spark. And given how bad the WWE network has been implemented on Netflix, and how you don't even have episodes of Raw there from 2004, I'm sure there's like 2 episodes there, but how poorly that's been implemented, it stands to reason that sometimes I'm going to revisit physical media. I was watching WrestleMania 20 the other night, and yeah, The Benoit thing, we can talk about that at some other time. But I wanted to watch that. I wanted to watch that main event. Now, it's always censored on YouTube when they put it up. Now, I could go to Netflix and try to source it out, but sometimes there's no markers there, there's no chapters. So, I don't know, it just seems like a better experience to have the DVD. That being said, it takes up space to have that DVD. And this is the point I'm trying to make. The point I'm trying to make is that it's a trade-off. Now, if you love physical media and you have the space and you own your house and you can just add on space endlessly, you can pay $100,000 to add on a room, or get one of those rooms that you set up. I think they make them build in a factory and then you just install it onto a foundation. I know these are options if you own your house. But most physical media collectors do not own their own houses. Let's just admit that. If you do, great, that's good. But if you don't, you're buying space, and space is a commodity, and this is one of the big reasons. How much is enough? That's the question. How much is enough? Do you have enough? Just because Jaws is getting another run doesn't mean you need to upgrade to the new 4K. Now, I like the 4K up there. It's definitely a good one. But for most people can't see the difference between them, honestly. It's not like a night and day difference between 4K, or not 4K, Blu-ray and DVD. It's not a night and day difference. Now, people saw the difference with that. But even then, some people were just like, I still can't see the difference. When we went from like VHS to DVD, that was a leap. And since that era, most people are just like, I still can't see the difference. Like, I just want to watch the movie, and I want to watch it how I want to do. Now, given the versions they put out on 4K, they are playing a bit with what people want. I like how when Kino Lorber was releasing The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, they put it out to a poll and said, which version do you want? And pretty unanimously, a lot of people said, just give us the versions we want, like the version we watched. Like, yes, it's great that the Italian version's out there, that with all those edited scenes. It's good that they're getting recognition. It's great. But it's poorly dubbed, especially for the English dub. It's very poorly dubbed by older actors. Not even Clint's back. I think they get Tuco back to the voice. Levy and Cliff had already passed by that point, so very badly dubbed. So really, I just want to watch the version that I grew up watching, and the one that was so catered to the audience that I was. It's the same thing with Dragon Ball Z. When I watch Dragon Ball Z, yes, I do have the Dragon boxes. I'm been trying to sell those Dragon boxes, but honestly, no one's even buying them, and I just want to sell them for cash. I don't want to have to bother with eBay and people doing chargebacks. So I've been trying to sell them in the Sydney region. No one's going for them, but honestly, I'm trying to sell stuff in my collection. If you know anyone in the Sydney region who's willing to pay cash, I'll make some deals, But honestly, I'm just kind of over the space it takes up. I'm curating my collection to fit my tastes, is essentially what I'm doing. If it's something that I'm going to watch commonly, it goes in the boxes. If it's something, I haven't thrown anything yet because I do want to retain most of it. I like the catalogue. I like having the option of saying, hey, I can draw from about 5,000 odd movies across all formats. I like that. I'm trying to sell all my wrestling tapes because I have the tagged classics. Really, these are the tagged classics. I did show them briefly. These are tagged classics. So I have them, so I'm trying to sell the wrestling tapes, but no one's even buying them, so, at a certain point, you're just like, I just need to clear the space. I need the space so I can use the space for other things that I actually like. And people are like, what am I doing with the space now? What am I doing with this? People even ask what boxes I'm using, so I will answer that right now. These boxes are from IKEA. These are, I don't know what the exact name of them they are. They will fit a DVD pretty awesomely. Like, they've just got Blu-rays in them. Blu-rays fit a long way, so you can actually put it down a lot more, fit the lid on a bit better. Don't know what it's called. I don't know exactly what the box is called. I think I've mentioned it in other videos. You can go back and watch other videos where I have shown it as well. But the name slips my mind at the moment. But do you understand what I'm saying? This is a response to Phil with a double L. So, look, I have enough. Honestly, I have enough. I've got enough. To quote Jim Carrey, I have enough. I've got enough. I am enough. I've got enough here. I've got everything I can possibly imagine. I've got Ferris Bueller right there. I'm going to watch Ferris Bueller. I'm going to watch Austin Powers. These are movies I'm going to constantly go back to. As I said, there's movies here that I'm not going to watch as often, like Old. Don't know about selling that, but I will retain it because you never know when you're going to have that spark and say, you know what, I'm going to give it another chance, even though it's not that good of a movie in my opinion. You might say, you know what, it might go like The Way of the Room. It might be like one of those cult classics eventually. I might want to get in there. It might become one of those rare movie titles. That being said, you're just sitting on things hoping for the best, saying it might become collectible, it might do this. And that's another thing I want to end on. The collectors. Not us, the collectors who are like, we appreciate this stuff and like, we want to see it succeed and we want to collect and we want to have it for love of collecting. I'm talking about the collectors who will go out and buy, let me grab one, Bad Boys. Let's grab Bad Boys because I know it was discontinued for a while and they brought it back recently, but let's talk about Bad Boys. Bad Boys collectors were going out, buying these, then reselling them online for $200-300 when it was out of print. That's not what it's about. That's not what collecting's about. And when you see people grading these things and saying, this is a grade 10, it's sealed, and yeah, buy it for $4,000. It just turns off the appeal of collecting. And it's like, well, we've got all these scalpers in here now who are going to buy all the Disney releases to try to sell them at a profit. It's what happened in the concert industry. And look, if it was something like where they just said, okay, we sold out the first batch, let's just keep shipping them to fill the demand, that's great. But some of these companies are doing limited releases now. And it's like, okay, if you want the steelbook of whatever, great, let's get that. Or you're going to have to try to pay a scalper to get the steelbook because they bought it out. And it's going to look crappy between your Deadpool and Wolverine because you couldn't acquire a copy of that. You know, there are so many different things here. Like, as I said, I'm really downsizing. Like, I am in about a quarter of the way through of the entire thing. I've already taken down some shelves. That's not what you're not seeing. I will show it at a later point in time. But these shelves in the middle, these ones right here, these are almost completely empty of DVDs. Like, these are eventually going to go. You know what I'm saying? Like, these are going to go eventually. And now that camera's crooked, and that's really annoying. We just do whatever on these video, guys. You know how it goes. We do whatever on these videos. But you know what I'm saying? Like, there is a point of me that's just like, I got enough. I've got every movie I can imagine. I've got every TV show that I like just about. Now, I don't have everything that I like. That's pretty impossible because there's a lot of shows I've liked through the years. That being said, I have enough. I've got enough. I don't really need any more. And the appeal of collecting is to feel like you own something. And honestly, I just don't see a pathway where I need to collect everything anymore. I got everything. I've got just about everything I need. I've got my favorites. I've got them. I've got Jaws. I've got E.T. I've got Jurassic Park. I did do a favorite Spielberg movie on my Instagram. Go and comment on that if you haven't already. But you know what I'm saying? Like, I like feeling like I've got everything that I need. And I don't really need to run out and buy the new 4K because really, I don't know what I'm getting half the time. And yes, if it's a good, pristine release, is it much better than my Blu-ray? Like, really? Just saying, this is a reality. But what do you guys think? I am making this video as a response to another YouTuber, Phil with double L. I will link that video in the description because I am referencing him a lot. Yeah, that was a good video. I did like his take on it. He did interview a bunch of YouTubers about that. So this is just my take, and yeah, don't have to like it. I don't expect you to understand my stance on it, but these are just a couple of the reasons why I have pulled back significantly and started downsizing. Because now it's about space, and now it's like, okay, I've got everything I need. I've trophied, you know, I've got everything I need. Now it's about, okay, how do I manage this in a way that's going to take me for the next 20 years? How do I manage the space? Now, obviously, the covers take up a lot of space. Plastic covers take up a lot of space. So now I have to look at, okay, plastic covers take up space. We need to downsize. We need to get rid of the covers. We need to put it in sleeves so that the next 20 odd years, you can still draw from that collection, but it takes 1/6 of the space, you know? That's what I'm doing. And that's why I am pulling back as a physical media collector. Because space, it's kind of losing its aura. And honestly, I have everything that I want. Really. Everything that I want is remastered. Given there might be an odd release here and there, I'm still waiting for Killers of the Flower Moon if Martin Scorsese ever wants to put that on physical media. Or Apple. It's Apple that owns that movie, I think. Apple need to put it out. I know it's somewhere in Italy. I know there's an Italian release out there, but I want the official one. I want something from Kino Lorber or something. So yeah, outside of those niche titles that I'm like, yeah, I'm going to rewatch that over and over and over again for over many years, don't really need to buy it. Don't care. Got everything I need. probably have the Blu-ray and DVD version. Mostly I'm happy. And the costs associated with the new formats, honestly, let the new collectors have a go at it. I mean, honestly, we've got everything we need. We're happy. We're the influencers on the internet. But yeah, I don't know. Anyways, I'm going to end it here, guys. I've rented on for too long now, you know. I'm still buying physical games, by the way. I don't know why, but I don't know. Just felt like I needed Roman Reigns. As soon as I saw Roman on the cover, I was like, Tribal Chief. He's also back as well. So, pretty cool. I also bought this, so eventually if I was to buy a Switch 2, not that I'm saying I'm buying a Switch 2, but I also bought 2K18 because, you know, they say that runs good on the new Switch. But, I don't know, I haven't even bought a Switch 2 yet, so we'll see. Go follow the Instagram if you haven't already. Go check out Phil with Double L's video, the initial video that I'm commenting this video is referencing so much. But also go and follow the Instagram. I'm doing daily posts. A lot of, like, what are your thoughts? What are you going to choose for your favorite movie and this and that? Go follow that if you want to. Don't really care if you do follow me or not. Doesn't matter. I'm just doing Instagram because it's fun. So if you're wondering why I haven't posted on here for like 10 days, I've just been having a lot of fun on Instagram. That's what I'm doing. If you want to follow that, then that's up to you. And yeah, I'll do the next video. I want to do the next video. Peace.